Hello? Is anyone down in here? Inside in that particular cannon? I guess it's pretty much empty at this rate, so even then though, looks like someone else seems to be just fine as it used to be. So, hey, what is up everyone? I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine from the Nintendo GameCube. So, last time we have managed to able to conclude with the most infamous mission in the whole entire game in Gelato Beach, which is the Watermelon Festival. In addition with that, we also managed to come across into Shadow Mario again by able to actually not only just trying to able to chase after him on that particular paddling pool segment, but also we able to deal with probably the most intense boss battle in the whole game, which is Mecha Bowser, probably due to the music and the actual design of the actual, well, Mecha Bowser himself. Sorry for a little bit of an awkward pausing right here. So today, we're about to still continue things on in Peanut Park while going through episode 3, and that mission is named Red Coins of the Pirate Ships. And unlike in episode 2, and just like in episode 1, that we're going to be able to actually explore around in the entire amusement park itself. So even then though, not much else to really say about this for the most part though, until likely in episode 4 coming up, that I think we get a feeling that we're probably not going to be entering the amusement park anytime soon, until likely the next few episodes later. Or to be more accurate, the next set of missions later. So even then though, let's go ahead and before we're able to actually hunt for those red coins, we need to go ahead and go after those blue coins first, so that way I can able to actually get these done. Thankfully though, the blue coins aren't far away from each other from the likes of this particular world, although some of the other blue coins might be somewhere in the outside portion of that specific amusement park, such as of course the beach section, so we'll come across into that whenever we're able to actually just to get onto that stuff. So either way though, let's just go ahead and grab this another blue coin, which might be seems a little bit too tricky to able to actually just to get through there pretty fast, but sure enough though, we find another way to able to actually just to get to it. Oh jeez! Oh phew, that was close. But yeah, if you don't make it in time with the actual blue coins appearing, then you're gonna have to spray the actual graffiti stuff again. So just in case, if you really want to go for a much more better attempt for able to actually obtaining the actual blue coin itself. So even then there's not much else to comment on. So anyways, let's grab that in case. So now we got 61 of those blue coins so far. So naturally speaking, that we are slowly getting there for the actual sake of grinding for those, you know, blue coins as currency. So either way though, because we'll explain more about it whenever we're able to actually just to continue exploring for this game throughout. So anyways, and I believe there's also another blue coin that's going to be hidden inside this particular whole bunch of enemies bunch. So even then though, what I suggest you do is the fact that we need to spray those weird looking enemies from the top, and then after when you deal with all of them out, then you would able to deal with the bigger ones. So even then though, when you've done so already, then you would able to actually just of course claim yourselves a blue coin. So something to keep that in mind. I'm probably not going to get all the blue coins in this area necessary, just because obviously we still need to get that one particular, the most important thing about the forms of this game in particular, which we'll discuss more about it until later. But for now, let's go ahead and keep on searching for those things. So there's another blue coin somewhere in here. So hopefully we were able to actually get those in time before we're able to deal with the main mission itself. So as far as everything else I'd like to say is the fact that obviously today's day is, oh no, today's the unlucky 13th day today, on Friday the 13th. Oh jeez, what do I even begin with that? Let's not mention more about it, because even then though, we are about to be able to, well, continue exploring for the actual, actually, let me just go ahead and turn that camera around, just in case we need to get ourselves our next blue coin right here. So now our blue coins count is now up to 66, so yeah, we are getting there folks, don't worry, we are getting there. Oh jeez, so much for unlucky moments right there. So as a matter of fact, I just spoken on that, so yeah, there's going to be a lot of emphasis on unlucky skills I'm just trying to perform But anyway, let's not worry about this too much. So, anyways, I believe we'll go ahead and... Actually, let's go ahead and aim for that triangle graffiti thing right here. So that way we could not only just try to able to actually just do it twice, by the way, but we need to get ourselves the, what else? The next blue coin. So... But these ones are going to be a little bit more faster to disappear in order to actually just obtain them. So even though this part is not too bad, but likely this particular part is what makes things a little bit trickier, so... But there's also another shape of the actual, the graffiti stuff, which will probably show that off until likely the next mission. But from now on though, we'll just have to mainly focusing on that. Please don't tell me that blue coin is about to disappear. Yeah, it's going to... Yeah, it's disappeared. It's always in a close call too, because sometimes if I was going to be able to try to obtain those little blue coins itself, but most of the time I just simply went too slow for that part. Well, to be more accurate, keep on bumping into the actual stuff all the time. But luckily though, the second attempt we did manage to succeed, so even then there's not much else to discuss, so... Unfortunately though for this point in onwards though, is the fact that there's not much else I can speak of, apart from the fact that Piglet has already mentioned several things on his Let's Play of Yoshi's Crafted World, is the fact that sadly we don't seem to able to get ourselves the SSXW panel 2020. This is probably due to how the fact that, well, Piglet has already established earlier that this is probably due to the coronavirus issue, which even then though, that me and Piglet were getting so sick of at this point, because even then though, this is about getting pretty annoying, especially noticeable how the fact that if some stuff we're most likely hyped for, specifically upcoming films or etc., sometimes though, that it doesn't seem to go out of luck with when it comes to likely with certain delaying stuff. I mean, geez, it's bad enough with the forms of certain delay stuff was a thing during the forms of the gaming community as well. Well, to be more specifically, back in the beginning of 2020, that you know where Final Fantasy VII Remake has been delayed due to, I don't know what circumstances they're going for here, but either way though, that's how it goes basically. So, if you couldn't tell already, I spent about roughly 8 minutes now for the sake of the forms of this particular level, as you can see, because, well, honestly, because of how the fact that I just want to get these blue coins out of the way before we're able to move on to the red coins collectibles and stuff, so... Because yeah, there's gonna be a lot of times I keep on just going like bombing around all over the time. Oh yeah, by the way, we need to take down these particular enemies that is usually hooked up onto that specific cages, because if you don't, then otherwise you get shocked. So, to be more specifically on these kind of segments like these, so... But the entire mission is pretty simple and self-explanatory. It's just the fact that you need to go after all these 8 red coins basically, just like before. So even then though, oh goodness gracious me, that was close. There's another red coin just right down here. Oh jeez, I'm gonna get zapped for about like 3 times in a row. But luckily though, we get ourselves a red coin. Thankfully though, if you do manage to obtain the red coin, I believe it actually restores you to health. So even then though, that should be pretty cool, I respect, because either way though, that way you can able to actually just survive for a whole bunch of dangerous enemies coming up ahead. Speaking of coming up ahead, I believe there's going to be the next blue coin that we do need to definitely get, and this one might actually be the trickiest of the bunch, because you have to carefully time your jumps correctly until you're able to actually jump off the pirate ship, until it starts to go almost like in a 360 turn. So even then though, when you've done so already, then you would able to reach that blue coin no problem. At least assuming if you're trying to carefully time your jumps or what have you. So, number 1, just inside in that particular simple cage. So, not much else to discuss here. And another red coin just around underneath that specific pavement here. I just keep on falling off like a moron. Jeez. So, another thing I just want to point out right away is the fact that I'm presuming Piglet has not even mentioned about that ever since on his, also in Yoshi's Crafted World Let's Play, is the fact that, well, you know how the fact that with the Sonic the Hedgehog, the most recent film in 2020, has reached pretty good box office success, to be more specifically, the video game movies of all time. But however though, it has been beaten by Invisible Man when it comes to the box office department because, well, despite with the Invisible Man just managed to receive so well in reviews and scores and all that stuff, it's not my interest sadly. So because of that though, I just don't know why they just managed to beat my film after all, but anyway. So yeah, so far we actually got ourselves 14 of those blue coins so far, after spending for almost 10 minutes or so. Well, not until whenever I grab this blue coin right there, and then that makes a grand total of 15 I've got right now, for obvious little factors. So I'm presuming that we pretty much at the halfway point on these blue coins count in this world. Oh jeez, that was pretty close. Sometimes though, for speedrunners like these, sometimes they always get simple mistakes like these right here, because if they're expecting to able to obtain the Shrine Sprite itself, sometimes though they accidentally fall off and then they just have to go ahead and just climb all the way back up, or else in speedrun's case, they have to reset the run in case if they're about to, you know. But anyways, let's head back onto that specific cannon and head on to the next mission in Pinna Park. Because after all, we did manage to accomplish the third mission, so episode 4, The Wilted Sunflowers. And I believe in this mission, much like in episode 2, is going to take place only in the outside portion of Pinna Park. So that way we can able to deal with these particular familiar Yoshi's Egg kind of weird stuff, which to be expected at this point is the fact that we need to dish them out before we're able to restore the actual sunflowers' power. Well, to be more specifically, the sunflower's life. So even then though, I think there are about 5 of them in total to able to deal out with. So even then though, you can able to actually just expect to see how many enemies you can have to dish out from. So when you deal with one of those enemies, as you can see, basically you would able to restore one of these sunflowers' life. So even then though, then again, you have to do it like 5 times. So not much else to it, and I don't think we can able to expect to get these blue coins anytime soon. Probably because I need to able to focusing on the main missions themselves first, and then, well, just gonna do all this stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead and every time you killed the enemy, like these guys right here, the actual individual sunflowers were able to actually just to grow. So even then, it doesn't matter what spot you're gonna be going into. So naturally speaking, there's not much else to speak of. So. And by the way, you know with these little Yoshi eggs kind of shells like these, this might be something very important if we're trying to accomplish this mission so that we can able to expect what's going to come up next after this mission has been accomplished. So let's see if we can able to do like a 2-in-1 combo kind of scenario without even like taking one at a time kind of scenario. So even then out there goes the last enemies like so, and that way we can able to restore not only this particular sunflower, but also the mother of all sunflowers. And when you restored all 5 of these, then basically the Shine Sprite is all yours. So yeah, self-explanatory, and there's not much else to it when it comes to the forms of this mission itself. But anyway, let's go and save and continue. And by the way, if you complete this mission entirely though, you would... Oh my god! Shadow Mario is kidnapping Yoshi's egg! So I guess there's one way to say to that. We need to rescue him. Yeah, because as a result, no matter what though, we'll do one more mission as it goes, and then we'll go ahead and take care of the forms of the main Shadow Mario threat. So even then, now let's head back onto Pinna Park in episode 5, The Runaway Ferris Wheel. Now I believe in this mission in particular is the fact that once again we're about to be heading back onto the amusement park, but the actual Ferris wheel is actually acting out pretty fast compared to the forms of how it does it on the slowest movement in the previous mission. So we'll just have to investigate, and then the next thing you know is the fact that we were able to see who caused all that stuff. And that we'll find out right now, which appears to be the actual enemy that has been sleeping all this time. Which I'm presuming is made out of electrified, so even then we need to defeat him before we're able to restore peace of the actual Ferris wheel itself. You can either go in multiple ways actually, because even then though, that most casual players always attempt to go on a normal pathway, but are able to actually go in on the back way on that specific cage climbing. But I'm probably not going to do that honestly, just because I just found it a little bit slow and tedious at times, because sometimes the camera sometimes screws you over most of the time. But let's do my personal favorite method without even landing onto that roller coaster rail. Ah, jeez, I totally forgot about that part. But hopefully we'll be back on for more of the blue coins grinding, specifically for those bluebirds that's flying about recently. So hopefully we'll be back for those until whenever we're able to move on to the next set of missions. So yeah, let's try to perform some shortcuts such as these, so that way you don't have to— Whoa, 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 whoa! Oh, jeez, man, I almost gonna slip off. Anyways, when you reach to this specific point right here, assuming it doesn't matter which pathways you're gonna take, you have to, like, kick him out of here, and then not only does it able to instantly kills him in the actual water itself, but also, in addition to the Shine Sprite will appear just on the top of the Ferris wheel, but also the Ferris wheel might actually slow down now, so even then it just makes it now a little bit more, some sort of a normal speed now, so even then no, problem solved. But before we do that, before we're able to obtain the Shine Sprite itself, we need to go ahead and go after those 2 blue coins, which are specifically dedicated to the circular graffiti stuff this time. Because what makes these circular graffiti stuff makes things a little bit harder compared to the forms of how it does it on the X symbol as well as the triangle. That basically we need to be act out pretty fast, because if you actually try to be more too slow, then obviously the blue coin itself will disappear for about a few seconds to react. So yeah, something to keep in mind. You know, kind of thinking about it though, is the fact that what's pretty weird is the fact that they always attempt to choose the exactly the same button icons, kind of shapes when it comes to graffiti shapes and stuff like that. It always kind of reminds me of something related to PlayStation icons, like so far we've got an X, circle, and a triangle. I mean, the only missing is of course the square, probably because of how the fact that I just have no idea how come they ignores the square completely. So anyways, let's obtain— yeah, what's nice about this is the fact that as you can see on the horizon, you can able to see Recco Harbor in the distance, as well as Delfino Plaza, and even Gelato Beach of all things. So yeah, that's the thing I really enjoy exploring through Isle Delfino itself. It's all likely just all connected to each other, which I will say, it is very impressive. But before we get back onto Peanut Park World itself, we need to take care of the forms of, as I said before, we need to rescue Yoshi by the evil clutches of Shadow Mario. So even then we'll do that first, because that way, in episode 6, where we're about to be heading to in just a moment, we do need to acquire Yoshi for one sortable reason, especially noticeable on the final episode on Recco Harbor as well, so that way we can able to actually take care of all these kinds of missions like so. So basically, just like any forms of any other Shadow Mario missions, is the fact that we need to keep on spraying at him at all times, so that way you can able to actually not only just to knock him down, but also— oh jeez, I swear to god, sometimes frame rate seems to drop most of the time if you're trying to take care of Shadow Mario battles or something like that. But anyways, so let's go ahead and try to finish him off with a couple of sprays remaining. Oh, he's almost dead. And there he goes. Darn, what? And I was just about to ride on that, to ride that Yoshi too. Yeah, sorry for a little bit of a worse English right here. So anyways, now we can actually access to Yoshi in this game, which unlike in Super Mario Galaxy 2, or before in Super Mario Galaxy 2 they used Yoshi again, but however, unlike in Super Mario Galaxy 2, as well as Super Mario World, in order to actually obtain Yoshi to able to actually get a chance to ride on him, we need to gather fruits that's almost like, depending on what fruit he likes. For instance, for example, we give him a banana, so that way we can able to now have a nice little thrill fun ride with Yoshi himself. So even then though, yeah, how it works for Yoshi in this game, if you're familiar with him from Super Mario World, as well as Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, then you do notice about the fact that he makes his first ever playable debut in 3D. Well, generally speaking, before when Super Mario 64 DS was a thing as well, and as I said before Super Mario Galaxy 2 came around, that all you can do is basically just eat certain stuff, including the forms of specifically some fruits and stuff like that. By the way, you notice with that specific cutscene, as you can see, when Shadow Mario managed to able to kidnap Yoshi's egg, in order to actually obtain the next world that has been stuck onto the actual pineapple itself, well, you do need to acquire Yoshi in order to actually proceed to the next world. So even then, that's how it goes, basically. So even then, that's... yeah, there's not much else I can have comments on it. So even then, I was going to be able to actually go after the rest of the actual... do I even make it? Nope. And yeah, for whatever reason, it's the fact that Yoshi seems to, well, die in the actual water. So yeah, that's what most people seem to... complain about that most of the time, because originally, back in E3 2002 if I recall, originally Yoshi was supposed to be falling green, and then he does manage to have himself the Hungry meter, but it turns out in the final release of the game, in order to actually let Yoshi survive for this hot, impacting heat kind of weather temperature or something like that, you need to always gather him fruit, because that way he'll keep himself alive, because unlike Super Mario Galaxy 2, that he's perfectly normal. So anyways, before we get on to that actually, we'll save that for later. So anyways, let's head on to episode 6 in Peanut Park, and it's a good thing too, we've actually now access to Yoshi in this game, because as you can see on the mission's description, it says the Yoshi Go Round's secret. Meaning that once again we need to head back into the amusement park itself, and this time around though we need to take care of the forms of, well, what else? Some Yoshis all by itself. And as you can see on this little hook thingy right here, that it comes in with the forms of the different colored pattern Yoshis, as you can see on the merry-go-round. And the ones you need to aim for is the orange color. I don't know if it's depending on the forms of what several playthroughs you're going to be going on towards in this game. But for me, I always attempt to come across into orange Yoshis, because either way though, it makes it a little bit obvious for that specific color order. Anyways, let's go ahead and get that pear. No! Get back here, you pear! But at least we got it anyway, so even then that way, I think it'll give him a orange color, so even then what do I just do? What do I just do? I accidentally throw it in the furthest distance up ahead. Oh well, we'll try this again, and hopefully we were able to actually just, just try and able to make towards him, so even then that pretty much takes care of it all by itself. And before you're able to get onto the actual secret mission itself, we'll just go ahead and take care of the forms of the remaining blue coins as far as you guys can clearly tell. First of all, we need to head over towards, I think it's like in this particular area if I recall. And then that way, if we manage to spot something like, let's just say a blue butterfly, that means we can able to get ourselves, what else? The next blue coin. So even then, that's 77 so far out of, well, I would say 240 of those things. So even then, that's, I'm pretty sure we're almost at the halfway point of the actual blue coins count already. But anyways, let's go ahead and find the actual exact spots. And then if you do so already, then you would immediately transport into the actual secret course itself. And that's what most people always get frustrated with this obstacle course right here. Specifically in the casual players or even first time players. So as you can see, I think this might actually be by far the longest obstacle course in the whole entire game. Alongside with you know, the Dirty of the Secret Lake and Bianco Hills. Because basically in this particular obstacle course challenge, as you can see, we need to hop on to the forms of those different colored Yoshi blocks. They are just keep on rotating. And by the way, I still really love the actual background environment, as you can see, because it just now takes place on some sort of like a sunflower's wallpaper, which it always kind of reminds me of something related to Yoshi stuff. So even then though, in fact, good thing about it though is the fact that those two missions, episode 2 and episode 6, always kind of inspires the Yoshi kind of themes. So even then though, I just really do appreciate it, because even then though, Yoshi is awesome after all. In fact, I'm just recently playing through all these Yoshi games again, including Piglet. He's still about to be continuing things on with Yoshi's Crafted World recently. during the forms of Tuesdays and Thursdays, if I recall. However, though, something's worth mentioning, by the way, is the fact that when it comes to likely in the next weekend Let's Plays, if I recall, I don't think that that particular new Let's Play on the weekends department is not going to happen just yet until likely next month. Probably because of how the fact that we just want to get these Let's Plays completed before April is about to be approaching, and that's how it goes basically. And by the way, you know with that specific moving block that usually goes up and down, sometimes most people seem to always have trouble with, because you have to be dead on with the actual timing with that jump, because if you somehow try to jump while the actual block is still moving, well, basically it will not count as your jump, so... Oh no, looks like Shadow Mario just managed to now got himself the actual, the next, nozzle upgrade, which even then though, do we have enough time to able to take care of it? I thought so. So we'll come back for, Yoshi Go Round, secret, red coins, challenge until later. But for now, let's take care of the forms of, both these Shadow Mario, kind of scenarios. In fact, we did manage to chase after Shadow Mario for twice so far in this video, so even then though, that's to be expected when it comes to likely for, I don't know how much you're able to actually expect that, but anyway, let's go ahead and just use those little things as springy stuff. And yeah, like in new forms of the Yoshi's eggs is the fact that, well, you're just gonna have to keep spraying him multiple times, and then that's pretty much about it when it comes to likely trying to deal with Shadow Mario itself. However, here's the thing though, is the fact that sometimes if you really want to deal with him a lot faster, sometimes you have to memorize the actual movements of him, so, especially because he keeps on wandering around in the actual Isle Dolphino, aka, you know, Dolphic Town or something, so, rats, and I was just about to use Turbo Dash 2. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Turbo Nozzle, which basically, differently from the likes of the previous, nozzle upgrades, as I mentioned, which are the Hover Nozzle and the Rocket Nozzle, this allows you to able to go in the fastest speed! At least specifically in underwater or on the water, so even then that way you can able to get a lot of water from. And you can also just do it in on the ground or even the actual town, but don't use it that often because sometimes most people seem to always clip through the actual the buildings and stuff, which I don't suppose we're probably not gonna show this off because I'm assuming that we only just gonna use this Turbo Nozzle for this particular Shine Sprite right here. Even though I was gonna able to save these up until later on after we're done with you know, all these stages throughout the game. But that doesn't end off here, however, though, because Shadow Mario is not going to give up, because now he got the Rocket Nozzle, so we have to get the Rocket Nozzle, and then we are able to access to the 7th and the last explorable world before the final world in the game, which we're probably not going to discuss upon until... Mario, can you get on here? Thank you. Oh, jeez, man. I was trying to help you, of course. Anyway, so let's go ahead. Well, despite the fact that we usually becomes rivals back in the 90s, so... But it's no longer happening because, you know, I'm now on the occasional Nintendo consoles, so... But I digress. So anyway, so let's go ahead and once again chase after Shadow Mario, so even then though, because this time, we need to get the Rocket Nozzle back. So even then though, that's how it goes, basically. So even then though, we would able to actually just, oh, where is he, by the way? I think he's somewhere in here. Yeah, he's definitely right here. I think this one makes things a little bit longer compared to the forms of how it does it on the previous Shadow Mario chase sequence this time, because you have to be, you need to be so accurate when it comes to likely not only just trying to spray at him, but also trying to figure out what's the best method to able to deal with him faster. So, I think he always occasionally goes all the way around to the lighthouse, especially with the actual, the rooftops, as far as I'm aware. I don't know if I can make it from here, but luckily, as soon as I saw the actual drop shadow, this means that I can able to see where he's about to be leaping onto next, so... Yeah, that's how it goes, basically, so even then there's not much else to this particular, objective itself, and in fact, we're actually going to be, getting ourselves the final, flood option, so even then though, since after all we got 3 so far, well, to be more specifically the normal spraying mode, as well as the Hover Nozzle and the Turbo Nozzle, and then the Rocket Nozzle for last, in the actual Dolphino Plaza itself, so... As far as any other worlds you can able to also deal with, you can do it as well. So anyways, shoot, and I was just about to rocket jump too. So anyways, we now access to that particular nozzle yet again, except now we can able to use that in Dolfino Plaza for doing multitasking, such as, for instance, for example, you know this little thing right here? In order to actually ground pound it, or breaking it, you have to use the rocket nozzle and then do a massive ground pound, and then that way you would be able to actually guarantee to get ourselves the next Shine Sprite. But here's the thing though, we need to use the rocket again, so that way you would able to reach it. Which that could be same applies to another Shine Sprite as well, but we'll save that until later. But for now, we need to take care of the forms of Peanut Park first for doing some more things first, before we're able to actually just do that for the sake of time. And then everything else goes back to its normal state with the actual current mission objective on specifically Dolfino Plaza itself, such as for instance that it always encourages us to aim for the next world that we can able to enter into, but we'll not go there just yet though, because again, we can't do likely 2 worlds at a time, so even then I will do 1 world at the moment when it comes to mainly focusing on it, so anyways, let's hit on to the forms of back to episode 6 we go, and able to take on the forms of what else? The red coin challenge on that specific mission. So hopefully we would be able to expect to see how this will turn out. So yeah, I really do apologize for the forms of the lack of commentary for the sake of this video, just because of how the fact that there's not much else I can say about it, apart from the fact that, well, usually Piglet has already established all sorts of stuff during the forms of his Let's Play of Yoshi's Crafted World recently, so because of that though, yeah, I could expect to see how this will turn out, so looks like so far anyway though, well despite with the actual the Sky-based secret courses is that I seem to die multiple times, probably because of some of these well there's one thing that most people seem to have a little picky with this game though sometimes, and that was the fact with the slope detection, which we'll probably talk more about it until whenever we get on to the next world, until not just for next Monday, but in next Wednesday specifically, because as you guys will already know, these uploads for Super Mario Sunshine, well, from now on anyway, it will be Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and especially noticeable with another day as well, which to me more specifically, probably because of how the fact that there's not much else we can able to tackle at this point, apart from delaying continuation Let's Plays of Kirby's Return to Dreamland, as well as, you know, Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. Now, we figure we might as well able to actually continue this Let's Play and Drain at some point in tomorrow, actually. So even then, that way we can able to do more tasks at hand, and then Piglet can able to do... Oh, son of a biscuit! Ah, jeez, I keep on getting shocked by this particular same enemy. Ah, jeez, and the reason why I'm gonna be aiming for is, of course, the blue bird itself. So even that up, that takes care of that. And I think we actually got ourselves quite a few blue coins left, but again, they're all in the outside portion of that Peanut Park. So naturally speaking, we got 10 left. So I think the final 10 of those blue coins, I think they're actually gonna be on, you know, the outside segment on specifically in Peanut Park. So yeah, that's how it goes basically. So I think we did manage to take care of the park itself in the blue coins collectathon, so even then we would expect to see how this will turn out. As far as 100 coin Shine Sprite goes, no, don't you dare fall off the water. It did fall in the water. Ah, jeez, man. I wasn't fast enough, you say. Ah, jeez. Luckily, though, like in Gelato Beach, is the fact I'm hoping... Oh, yeah, there's the actual, the coconut that we do need to get. Actually, got to think about it, I actually really enjoyed the actual Peanut Park music right here, specifically when you get into the actual amusement park itself, because it always reminds me if I was exploring around in the entire vacation with, let's just let Yoshi eat a pear, because just like before, we do need the orange Yoshi variant, because that way we can able to, you know, trying to able to access to the secret course as such. So there we go. And in that way we can able to take on, of course, the red coin challenge, but we're not going to make it through the beginning. But in this particular part right here, that way we could able to do all that. But before we do this challenge, let me just go ahead and get ourselves our next 1-up mushroom, just in case for some frustration coming up. But either way, we got it in the end. So. And this particular mission only took about 2 minutes to complete, so even then though, because as to be expected, this place is huge. Like, literally quite big. Oh, jeez, that was close. I almost gonna fell off for a moment. But anyways, yeah, I think the first 2 red coins are gonna be on that specifically, the rotating block section, as you can see right there. And I believe the final 6 red coins are gonna be specifically on that wall jumping segments for block to block, so. I think that's as far as I can usually try to think of from the top of my head. So, yeah, everything else to be expected, so. Alright, so let's go ahead and, you know, just do the usual jumping to the actual things itself. Or, you know, you can just simply skip some of these, shifting block segments by simply using the hover nozzle, which is always appreciating about that specific stuff. I suppose I think, one thing I should probably notice by this point is the fact that this is the only world so far that does not feature any kind of, well, those 2 different nozzle upgrades, which there are obviously the hover nozzle as well as, no, the turbo nozzle as well as the rocket nozzle. I have no idea why they took those 2 upgrades down. That could be also still applies to the next world as well. Well, it's not so much on the, well, I would say until the 7th and the final main world. But then again, I will point it out whenever we're able to get onto that specific stuff. So, anyways, let's go ahead and grab these, the final 2 red coins from this specific segments here. And then the Shine Sprite will immediately appear on that specific part right there. So that's not too bad though, especially noticeable if you manage to utilize the actual hover nozzle, so that way you would be able to accomplish this mission no problem. So, there we go! We did manage to take on the forms of the next Secret Shine Sprite in Pinna Park. In fact, much like in Bianco Hills, there are about 2 of those Secret Shine Sprites based on the actual secret courses, so yeah, that's how it goes. So I guess we'll end things off here, I'm afraid, guys. So join me tomorrow for more of Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine. We'll hopefully finishing up with Pinna Park itself. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Later, fellas.